Hi everyone. My name's Robert, and I'll be talking to you about why football should keep changing the rules for concussions and player safety. I've always been a sports fan all my life. My favorite sports are basketball and football. Especially football. I would wake up every Saturday, watch College Game Day, 10 to 12, and then 12 to midnight. I would just be watching every single football game I can. Just always watching football. Probably one of my favorite Saturdays is just UT versus Florida or UT versus Alabama. Just getting hyped for those games. And now football over the past like 5 to 10 years has been changing the rules to help player safety, such as like keep players from hitting other people in the head, um, just in keeping the contact to a minimum where it's not needed. So I found some articles, and the first article I found states like 5 new proposes or rules that the NFL is having, and the first one is that they're not allowed to push teammates from the back, when the defense is in punt formation, or when the offense is in punt formation. The defense isn't allowed to like push linemen in the back to help out, because that can cause more force to offensive linemen and can cause more injuries. The second rule is they prohibit peel back blocks by the offense. Like if a receiver just comes out of nowhere and just blocks a defensive player, and where it's really not needed, that's a peel back block. And they're trying to get rid of those. The third one is that they're trying to get running backs to. They're prohibiting them from chop blocking when a lineman's like engaged with another lineman, or just any defensive play. They don't want them like coming down hitting them in the legs, because that will cause like major leg injuries. Um, and then the fourth one is receiver. They're giving receivers more defenseless rights. Like for instance, like if the ball's intercepted, the receiver still has his defenseless player rights. And then the last one is that they have started like a new position where they have spotters, injury spotters, they where they look out for like concussion or brain injuries. Then my second article is the Ivy League. In the Ivy League football conference has eliminated tackling in practice, and the coaches unanimously decided to remove tackling from practices during the regular season. The reason for this was to an attempt to further limit players' chances of suffering head and brain injuries. And during all 3 seasons, half of concussions happened during tackling. The overall rate fell from about 1.56 to 1.27 per 1,000 active exposures, like athletic exposures, like just playing, practicing, everything. It's not really a significant number, but during practices, which the Ivy League eliminated tackling, it fell from 0.77 to 0.33, and that's more of a significant number because it pretty much almost gets as close as you can to non-existent concussions, and that's pretty much the goal, I guess, of the Ivy League. My third article was more about the statistics, that the information over the years. And some of the statistics are 3.8 million concussions reported in 2012, and that's double of the concussions reported in 2002. 33% of all sports concussions happen at practice. 39% of cumulative concussions lead to long-term brain disability. And 5.3 million Americans live with a traumatic brain injury, which is caused over the long-term effects of some sports or just regular activity. And these stats prove that we're getting more knowledge about concussions over the past years because some of the statistics are skewed a little bit because we have more information and more reports of concussion. And the league, with this information, is trying to not have as many concussions. And then my fourth article is actually a player's perspective, or my last two articles are about players' perspectives. Brian Hartline on MMQB, Brian Hartline, a receiver for the Miami Dolphins, was giving an example of his teammate in preseason where he got injured, getting hit low because defenders don't want to hit high and get fined and cause brain damages to other players. And he actually said that he would rather get hit low or get hit high because the receivers, that's like their livelihood, is their legs, being able to run, being able to jump and catch a ball. And he said that he would rather live with the long-term effects of a concussion than the now effects of supporting his family. And then my last example is San Francisco's Borland quits over safety issues, and he quits football because of the concerns about these concussions and everything. And he only played one season in the NFL, and he might be more players are retiring early than later because of these issues, and he might be setting a trend for these issues, which was a big deal at the time because he was like the first one. In conclusion, the NFL and NCAA are trying to prevent these injuries, and they're doing the best they can, and I believe that you should support them because it's all about player safety. I would rather see the best athletes on the field than people who aren't the best at their craft. And thank you for listening to me.